Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. First of all, I post a brand new series over Anime King of What If Naruto Had the Future Sight Bloodline. So go ahead and check that out and enjoy. So I want you guys to stick around and enjoy this new series. My personally own made What If Naruto was half Kryptonian and half Saiyan. Part 1 guys. If you want to see part 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over Anime King, as I said earlier, and also stay tuned for a brand new episode over in Anime King 2. Yes, that's right, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, and Anime King 3. Which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Start the intro, guys. The Elemental Nation. At the moment, there was something so huge going on, yet most of the other nations were unaware of it at the moment. A massive beast was currently in the process of being sealed into a newborn baby girl. The sealing process hadn't begun yet, but the father of said girl, a man that was known for his power and strength, a man that was known for his speed and intellect, Minato Namikaze, the Yellow Flash, the fortified gift Konoha was currently in the process of sealing the Biju. But the thing was putting up a great fight. But despite that going on, most of the other nations were unaware. But that wasn't the only event that will be happening tonight. Given the distance of the planet, it took a while for it to affect the Elemental Nation, but it did came. Unlucky, or lucky as it might be, the Elemental Nation was hit with the aftermath of another planet exploding. At the hidden rain, a man was currently standing on a balcony. As usual, the rain was pouring down. But something caught his attention. Was his village being attacked? That was the first thought that came to his mind as he saw hot, raging flames falling from the heavens. His eyes focused as he noticed that it was a meteor. Fearing the destruction of his village, he flew. He literally blasted off the ground, using his gravitational abilities to get there rather quickly. Upon reaching there, he extended his hand. "Almighty, push!" he said. As the massive meteor exploded, it was decimated by the blow. But it was not done yet. Another one was right behind it. But suddenly, hundreds of papers passed him and attached to the meteor before it exploded. Tiny green shards fell all over the village. But those wouldn't be hurting anyone instead. Well, they will find out soon enough. What's going on? The voice of his long-term best friend, Conan. Beautiful. Blue hair with an origami in it. Auburn eyes as she looked towards her best friend. He was currently in the body of another one of her friends. He used his ray gun to control said body. The man turned his gaze as he saw meteors falling all over the place. At the hidden stone, Oniki flew straight up in the heavens as he used his technique to lighten the meteor, stopping it in its tracks. Several stone ninjas slammed their hands down. Massive pillars rose and stopped several meteors from impacting with the nation. At Kiri, water style, water colliding wave. Several ninjas release a stream of water that decimate the meteors. at the sun. The Kezakage slammed his hand together as golden dust shot up, destroying the meteors before they could land. These meteors are not big enough to cause any severe damage, but if they had landed on someone or a house or property, without being slowed down, they would cause much damage. But good thing they were not that big, so the Kages were able to stop them. The Elemental Nation was in panic as meteors started to fall. The meteors had some strange green crystals attached to them as well, that were glowing ominously. Meanwhile that was going on, Tsunade Senju and her apprentice Shizune was currently moving as fast as possible. Given the slug Sanin being a Sanin, well, Shizune was a bit lacking behind. As Tsunade was moving, she then heard her name being called out, a rather frantic manner. She looked around towards Shizune without stopping. Shizune was looking up to the sky. That is when Tsunade paused. A massive meteor heading towards Konoha. Well, not directly in the village. Minato had teleported 9 tails away. As Tsunade could see it from here, she watched as the thing came down. Boom! The massive fox was hit head-on by one of the meteors. Tsunade-sama, she heard. Tsunade turned as she saw several more coming in their direction. She rushed towards Shizune knowing that she wouldn't get out of the way in time. She grabbed her and moved off. The place was assaulted. And another one was coming down. Tsunade placed Shizune down and leaped. Gathering chocolate to her fists, she pulled it back and slammed it into said meteor. It shattered into pieces. It was then that she saw another. She pulled her fist back, but at the last moment she had to stop. This one was not a meteor. It was an object. She pushed herself out of the way. The thing crash landed in the ground, creating a massive crater as it landed. Tsunade landed on the ground, as Shizune was by her side within seconds. Tsunade-sama, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. What is that? Shizune said. As they looked down into the hole, the smoke slowly cleared away. They saw a pod. A strange kind of pod. Shizune was a bit too close to the edge, and it gave way as she fell. Tsunade jumped down and caught her. As she placed her down, they were closer to the thing. What is that? Shizune reached out. Shizune, don't touch it. For all we know, it could be some enemy doing this. It could be a trap. It was then that they heard crying. Both men looked towards each other as they moved in, and Tsunade caught sight of him. There was a baby inside. She could see him through the mirror of the thing. He was just there crying. She could not see his eyes because they were close. He had short, stubby, black hair. As she looked down towards him, he paused for a second before he slowly opened his eyes. Tsunade didn't know what it was but the baby. He just caught her attention so much. As he looked at her, she looked back at him. She reached out. As she was about to touch it, the thing opened up as steam came through, causing her to step back. But once it was gone, she looked in. He was holding his hands out towards her. Tsunade-sama, what do we do? Asked Shizune. Back in the village, Kushina screamed as Minato applied chakra back into her seal. He had to do it quick, and it caused her pain as he applied chakra back in her seal. He wouldn't allow her to die. No, he would not. The residue of the fox chakra, he pumped it back in her seal. He looked at her with a loving smile. No, don't, she said, tears in her eyes. But he knew that he had to. I love you. And I will always love the both of you, he said. He looked towards his baby girl one last time, and back towards his wife. The fox was trapped under a massive, giant meteor that had slammed down on him, which he was using his tail to break at the moment. Wasting no time, Minato went through hand sign. The Shinigami arrived and pushed his hand through him, as he could feel the thing gripping his soul. With that, his soul was pulled along with the fox. Half of the beast being sealed inside of him, half of the beast being sealed inside of the baby girl. While that was going on, Harrison and the others were stopping the onslaught of meteors that fell from the heavens. Attacks after attacks were being rained to the heavens to stop them one after another. Everywhere around the elemental nation, Kumo, the stone, Kiri, Konoha, the sand, meteors were being destroyed one after another. The fox cursed as the rest of his essence were poured into the small child. A chain caught him before he could fall. As Minato was pulled over towards Kushina, she held on to him. He was gone as she cried. She cried with him in her arms. It was then that the baby started to cry as well. She was exhausted from giving birth, having the fox ripped out of her, from also having the chakra being put back inside of her. She reached out as she placed a hand on top of the basket. She smiled as the baby stopped crying. "It's alright, little one. I'm here," she said. "Kushina!" she turned as she saw Tsunade rushing towards her, with Shizune as well. Kushina's body had enough as it passed out, unable to go on anymore. Tsunade rushed over Shizune as she handed her the small baby boy in her arms. As Shizune took the child and held on to him tightly, the first thing she did was check Minato, but he was already dead. She then checked Kushina. A worried look came on her face as her hands instantly started to light up green as she started to work. Moments later, after all the meteors had stopped, Harrison finally arrived towards the battlefield where they had faced their final foe, the nine-tailed fox. To his surprise, Tsunade was finally back. Kushina had wanted her to be here for the birthing of her child, but the more time went on, the more Harrison realized that Tsunade didn't want to be here. Maybe it was a respect for Kushina. Maybe it was because she was one of the last Uzumaki's remaining, and they shared that name by blood, even that Mito was a Uzumaki, and Tsunade, grandmother. She decided to be here. But Harrison saw that the way things are going, it was only a matter of time before she leave the village. The pain of all that she had lost, it was dawning on her too much. He tried to help her as best he could, but he was failing. Making his way over, Tsunade, is she? She's alright. It's a good thing I got here on time. Her body was extremely damaged from the inside, due to the removal and the reapply of the baby's chakra. I was able to separate it from her coils though. I had to put her in a medical induced coma. It will take a while. Even with her Uzumaki healing ability, it will take a while. Harrison sighed, but a bit relief as long as she's alright. Is Minato? He's gone, Sensei, said Tsunade, as you could hear the sadness in her tone. Another person, gone once again. He would never be here to raise his child. It was then that he noticed Shizune with two children. Wait, she had twins? He said as he could not see their face properly. No, the girl is hers. The boy is... Tsunade trailed off. Harrison was confused. The boy is, he asked. Tsunade looked towards him with an emotion that he's never seen on her face before. He didn't know how to place it was strange, as she seemed to be thinking deeply. He's mine, she said. Yours? Harrison was shocked. He looked at her, he was so surprised. Time skip. Kushina groaned as she was finally waking up. Her eyes finally adjusting to the room that she was in, as she noticed that she wasn't in the hospital. She was confused where she was. She looked around as she saw the blue walls. Glancing over, she saw there was a desk, a table with a few papers on it. She was on a bed. Where was she? She thought to herself. It was then that she noticed the door. She tried to get up, but her body felt so weak, so exhausted. But yet, she was alive. The memories rushed back to her mind. Tears filled her eyes as she remembered Minato. But her baby girl, she fell out of bed. Someone opened the door after hearing the drop. Kushina, you shouldn't be getting up. Kushina looked up. Tsunade, what's going on? Where's Mito? Where's my daughter? Shizune, Tsunade called out, as Shizune came from around the corner with the little girl in her arms. Kushina smiled seeing her baby. She's alright. She's alright, isn't she? She asks. She's just fine. Now let's get you back into bed, so you can hold her. As she helped her up, and placed her back in the bed with one hand. The reason being she had a baby in her hand. A boy. He had black hair, with honey brown eyes. As he was smiling at her, he was a beautiful child. Shizune walked over and handed her little Mito. She had her father's nose and her father's eyes, but red hair just like her mother. As she took her baby and held on to her, the tears started to flow down heavily as she looked down to her beautiful baby girl. Her missing Minato was a big part of that as well. But doesn't matter what, she would care and love her baby. She would give her as much love as possible to try to make up for Minato not being here. He gave his life to protect the village and keep everyone safe. And she would not abandon that dream. She would keep it going. As she cuddled her baby in her arms. After a minute or two, she finally looked up. Snevy, who's that kid? He's my son, said Snevy. A shocked look came on Kushina's face, just like the others. Your son? What? I didn't... It's a long story. I'll explain everything soon. You've been out for a long while. It was necessary for your body to rest. A lot has happened while you've been unconscious. A lot. As Kushina nodded, as Snevy sat down with the baby boy, Kushina glanced at him every now and then, wondering where did she get him from. At the moment we don't know who did it, but someone informed the village that the Nine Tails is sealed inside Mito. What? Said Kushina. Yes, after the meeting was done, after Sensei decided to keep it a secret, someone informed the village about the Nine Tails. It was a good thing that you were not there to hear the comments, which I will not repeat, but it got me angry enough to almost kill a few of the citizens after hearing what they said about the poor child. And I might have let my emotion got the better of me and blurted out that she was the son of Minato, and how disappointed he would be to hear that you're saying this about his daughter. It shut them up rather well, but I might have went a bit overboard on that. Let my emotions got the better of me. What did they say about my baby girl? Kushina asked, her tone becoming quite dangerous. I'm not gonna tell you that. Or am I gonna tell you who it is? If what they said almost got me to kill them, I can't imagine what you will do. But let's just say they're feeling quite ashamed. And after, Hiruzen made a public announcement on what Mito is doing, actually keeping everyone safe by holding the beast back. Let's just say a lot more of them is feeling rather apologetic. But I doubt all of them will be so forgiven so easily. A lot of people died in the attack. What should that matter? Kushina said, clenching her fists. I know that the life of a Jinchuriki is not an easy one, but these bastards. Her father died protecting all of them. Not to mention, she's doing a great service by holding this beast back. Something she never asked for, but because of the situation it had to be done. Given the state I was in, if Minato had sealed a full beast back inside of me, it would have surely broke free once again. My body was not healthy enough to hold it back, and I would have died. And once again it would have roamed free. But my beloved girl, she said, looking down, is now the host. Something I never wanted to happen. As she started to cry even more. Snada placed a hand on her shoulder. Everything's gonna be fine. Look, as much as I want to leave this place, given that your daughter is now the Jinchuriki, if news were to get out in the public, beyond Konoha, it will be a lot more dangerous out there for her, because I would have told you to come with me, and let's just run away. But I know that you won't disrespect Minato legacy like that, so I'm gonna stay here with you. You're gonna stay? But I thought the same thing as well. We've both been through a lot, Kushina. And I know that me pushing my problems ahead of yours would be quite selfish. I'm not the only one that lost. Kushina looked towards her a bit confused. You're all different. Maybe it's because of this boy here. I don't know why, but the moment I saw him, She smiled at the child, who smiled back. He seemed quite happy. But who is he? I found him. You found him? While the Nine Tails was being sealed, something else was going on. I'm sure that you're not even aware of it, given the situation that you were in. All over the elemental nation, meteors were falling from the sky. Meteors? Yeah. And this child. He came from the heavens. Wait, you mean he fell from the sky? Yeah, in a strange pod. The only person that know about this right now is me, Shizune, you, Ibiki, and the Hokage. We have moved it to a secure location. None of us know exactly what it is, but we have determined that it's not a weapon. But what exactly it is, we're not sure. Some flying pod, something like that. We'll have to do some more research about it. But this child, he was in it. I ran all the tests I could. He's definitely not your run-of-the-mill shinobi, but he's also a perfectly healthy baby boy. And I'm gonna keep him. But Snazzy, I don't know where he's from or what is going on, but I made my mind. And I'm not gonna change it. And I'm not gonna give him away. My little baby Naruto-kun, she said. Wait, Naruto-kun? As much as that pervert Jiraiya likes to write those smuts of his, that book that he wrote, The Gutsy Ninja, is one of the only ones I can truly respect, and the hero in it. I figure I would name him after him, Naruto-kun. Naruto Senju, she said, with a smile on her face. Kushina has never seen Snazzy so happy, as she was literally radiating happiness. And that was good, given the state that she was always in since the death of Nawaki and Dan. She was glad that she was happy. Time skip. Hiruzen, Snazzy, Jiraiya, Shizune, Kushina, they all stood in front of a strange pod, as Ibiki was behind the thing. Any news? Asked Hiruzen. I'm afraid nothing so far, Hokage-sama. I've had some of the brightest working on it. But this sort of technology, we still have no idea what exactly it is. Snazzy had the baby boy in her hand, as he started to reach towards the thing. They all looked towards her. Hey, why don't you let him touch it? Maybe he will activate something or do something, said Jiraiya. What if it harms him, said Snazzy. Well, he did arrive in it, so I doubt it will harm him, said Jiraiya. He's kind of right, Kushina said. As Snazzy looked over the pod, still hesitant. It was then that she moved a bit closer. There was a weird hexagon shape. As the baby reached up, he patted. The moment he did, his fingerprint seemed to just light up the entire thing. Snazzy instantly stepped back, shielding the baby boy. I knew it, said Jiraiya. You didn't know anything, you were just making a guess, said Snazzy. Come on, Heim. Did you have to ruin my good mood like that? She looked at his hands. There was no damage, he was fine. It was then that someone popped up, causing all of them to get on their guard. It was a woman. She had dark hair, just like the boy. She was wearing a black suit with a strange golden symbol in the chest. It looked like a S. It was then that a blue light came from her chest symbol and washed over all of them. They prepared themselves for pain, but none come. As they looked at the blue light, it seemed to be scanning them. What's going on? Kushina said, as she was not really trusting this thing, whatever it was. Scanning complete, the ship said. Non-hostile. As the woman then spoke, hello, she said. Hello, said Hiruzen. Who are you? He asked. My name is Lara. Lara Loravine, she said, as she looked at them with a smile. What are you? Said Snazzy. A hologram? Yes. Piece of my consciousness was placed inside the ship, so I could be a helping hand to my son, she said. I see you have him right there. As Snazzy became a bit defensive, would she have to give him back? As Laura smiled, I see you taking a motherly role in my son's life. I am grateful, she said. I, as you can see, am a hologram. And I can't be there for him as a mother, in all the aspects. But my scans have told me that you harbage great love for my son. As she smiled once again. Excuse me, Lara-san, but what exactly are you? Give me one moment, said Lara. It was then that the shape started to glow. It released a larger scan that spread everywhere as it went out of the room. What did you do? Ibiki asked. Processing, the shape said. After a while, it was then that she smiled. I understand now, she said. You folks are shinobis. How did you... I scanned everything else. It seems this planet is better than I thought. This planet? Ibiki said. I never intended to send my son here. But unfortunately, the other planet that I want to send him to had an accident before I could send him there. A tragic event by a larger meteor. It seems like it was not destined for him to go there. And I had no choice. Scanning the vast planets, yours was the only one that I see fit for my son to be raised on. I did not have much time. At first hand, your planet seems like a much calmer place, while there are wars. Given your planet a son, I doubt anyone could harm my son. But there was still a big risk. But the others were much worse. So I made a choice to send him here. But it seems like he ended up in good hands. Excuse me, but what exactly is going on? Said Hirzan. What do you mean you send him here? Where exactly are you from? Oh, pardon me, she said. I hail from the planet Krypton. My planet was one of the most technological advanced in the universe. Through our mastery of science, we were able to spread throughout the stars and create multiple outposts and colonial settlements. For a period of almost 100,000 years, Krypton flourished. For centuries, the planet was almost genetically manipulated for a century. Each Kryptonians were bred for a specific sole purpose in a specialized artificial incubation birthing facility known as the Genesis Chamber. Unfortunately though, my planet was destroyed due to several mistakes caused by my people, she said. So those meteors, they were from your planet? Asked Navi. Yes. I apologize for all the suffering and problem they might have caused. But I know it's not much. After all, one cannot bring back your people if they have been lost, she said. So what now? Asked Hirzan. Are there others? No. I'm afraid that he's the only survivor of Krypton. My son, she said as she looked towards him. So he was genetically created as well? Asked Navi. No. My son there is not full Kryptonian. He's also half Saiyan. What's a Saiyan? Jiraiya asks. Saiyan are warriors, group of peoples that bred for war, but I will let his father explain when time is right. Where's his father? Asked Ibiki. That will be explained shortly, she said. But you should know, there will be several enhancements that my son will be getting from this planet. Not to mention his Saiyan biology. What does that mean? Asked Jiraiya. Due to your planet yellow son, it will grant my son extreme strength and several other gifted abilities. What I am not completely sure. As I said, the planet I wanted to send him to got a run-in with a asteroid. It seems like he was not fated for him going there. It seems like he was supposed to end up here, she said. With you, as she looked towards Navi. As Navi held Naruto closer. Now as for Saiyan biology, it seems being born half Kryptonian and half Saiyan caused different changes. As I can see, he doesn't have a tail. Wait, tail? Yes, Saiyans. They produce tails that can turn them into giant apes with immense power. The group was shocked by that new relevant information. They were downright speechless. So he's not gonna turn into a giant ape, right? Said Snatty. No, I doubt it. He doesn't possess a tail like them. Saiyans are a powerful race of warriors that has natural born-in strength, that are physically stronger and more greater than you humans on this planet. And with his Kryptonian DNA, once he reaches his peak age, he will be downright unstoppable with those two DNAs combined. From what we have been able to gather on him in a few short time, there has been no side effect or conflicts. His two DNAs are working in perfect sync. She looked towards Natty. I know it's a lot to ask, but given all the love and care in your heart, can I ask you to watch over my child and keep him safe and raise him to be a wonderful young man? He is the last hope of Krypton. He is the very essence and being, the very knowledge that Krypton still survives through him. Can I ask it of you? Of course, said Sneddy. I'll take good care of him. Thank you, she said. I cannot stay here for too long, so I asked, when you reach a sizable age. I want to meet him, she said, so I can talk and explain a bit about his heritage, and also regarding his father. As she pointed towards the ship opened up as a strange crystal came out. When the time comes, I will teach him how to use it, she said with a smile. Wait, said Jiraiya. Are Saiyans a part of this planet Krypton as well? No, that's a long story. His father wasn't directly from my planet, but I will explain everything in due time. For now, all I ask is that you take care of him, and be on the lookout for any of his special abilities. It won't be too long before he starts to show them, she said. I will be counting on you to bring him back, so I can have a proper talk with him when he's of age, she said. Snavy nodded. Time skip. Whoa, that was a lot, said Snavy. Yeah, you're telling me. As Kushina sat with her. Well, it's gonna stay a secret between all of us. We don't want anyone finding out about him. He can just be officially your son. Snidey looked towards them. I don't know what it is, but from the moment I saw him, I just love him, she said, as she held him in her arms. Kushina smiled at her, even though the memories of Minato was still on her mind. She had a lot to live for. Her newborn baby girl. And her family was here. She would just have to carry on the memories of Minato and keep Mito safe. Meanwhile at the office, well, that was a lot, said Jiraiya as he sat down with Hiruzen. Yes, it was. Although, I'm wondering about these techniques that Lara speak of. Yeah, me too, said Jiraiya. From how she speaks it seems like the kid's gonna be downright, well, invincible. Remember, Jiraiya, he's not from this planet at all, so that might beg to differ that he's different. Yeah, I guess you're right there. What about these strange meteors? Have anything else popped up in your spine at work? So far, no. The only thing I've been getting is there all these green rocks around the place. But they're not anything too dangerous and all that. Probably just a piece of their home planet. Yeah, I guess you're right there. Still, keep eye out for things, just in case. As Jiraiya nodded. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto was not the only one that came to Earth. There was also a strange silver machine. It seemed solid, like a cube, but it was pointed. It broke. A strange black liquid leaked into the ground and just went away. And nothing happened. Well, nothing yet. Time skip. A small girl was currently making her way. As she hid right under a massive pile of trees. The way they were set, she would not be crushed as she crawled underneath. As she covered her mouth and just remained quiet, she saw feet walk past her position. As she smiled, she was not the only one though. There were several other kids hiding in the foliage. Laughter could be heard. Found you, a voice said. As the kids all held their breath wondering which one of them did he found. It was at that very moment that a shout could be heard. How the hell did you find me? The girl peeped out as she saw the brown-haired boy with markings on his cheeks being lifted up by the other one as she kept herself hidden. The black-haired boy then closed his eyes as he listened. He then smirked as he started to move and find the other kids. Huh? But I was so quiet, a girl with blonde hair said. That should be impossible. My bugs cancel out any sound that I might have made. So how was it that you were able to find me? The boy simply smiled at him, before he turned his gaze and rushed over. As the girl with the red hair found her leg being held onto, before she was pulled out of the foliage. Damn it, she said as she punched him. How did you find me? He simply smiled. I guess I just have a knack for it, he said, with a smile on his face. Now for the last one. As he glanced around, his eyes roaming around the area, until he focused on a tree. He didn't walk up to said tree as he started to climb. He climbed straight up, until he patted the person on the shoulder. You weren't really trying to hide, were you? Naruto asked. As the boy sighed. Not really, said Shikamaru. But I guess you found me. Well, you made it a bit too obvious. What's the point? You always find us anyway. Come on, it was fun, said Naruto. Shikamaru sighed. As he climbed out of the tree, it was rather obvious seeing that he was just sitting on a branch. Always a spoiled sport, Ino said. Huh, he's just too lazy, said Mito. Come on guys, you're making Shikamaru feel bad, said Choji. Oh, it's quite alright, Choji. Let them talk, I enjoy the lesser things in life, like just relaxing. You mean just being lazy, said Naruto. As the kids started to laugh, the bunch of friends were currently playing hide and seek. It has been 6 years since the whole event. While a few of the people still had resentment even though Mito was not the fox, they still couldn't just let it go. Those people were just, well, stupid, thinking that she was a fox despite her just being a sweet loving child. But it didn't matter, she had lots of other friends. Her mother knew a lot of other people, and all of their sons and daughters became her friends. And not to mention she had her big brother. While in truth he was not actually her brother. They were related but not by brother and sister level. But he called her his sister and she called him his brother. And she loved her brother more than anything else. Well, she loved her mother as well. And there he stood, Naruto. Naruto Senju. He was taller than most of the kids. Not to mention he was mixed between handsome and cute. His black hair reached down toward his shoulders, as it was tied in a ponytail. He liked it this way. His mother also liked it that way as well. And there was a single bang that came from his forehead. It stopped before it could reach too far though, as he was wearing a dark blue shirt with black pants and blue and black sandals. He just seemed to like the color. So what else should we do, said Kiba. How about a race, said Naruto. As Kiba frowned. You always win, he said. Come on, you can win this time, said Naruto. As Kiba shook his head. You know what, I'm going home, he said. Mom told me that she will be giving my puppy soon. She did not tell me the exact day, so I'm just gonna keep on pestering her until she give it to me. Are you sure that is wise, said Naruto. I mean, sometimes your mom can get a bit violent. Yeah, you're right about that. But who are you to talk, said Kiba. Your mom, when she get violent, she destroy things. Yeah, that's right, said Naruto. She liked to punch. Yeah, a lot, Ino said, as she remembers seeing Naruto's mother frightening strength. She was dangerous. Time skip. They all split up after a while as they were now heading back home. Hey Mito, you okay? Naruto asks. Yeah, I was just thinking about the academy. I mean, we're gonna enter it soon. Soon enough we're gonna be actual ninjas. Like, real ninjas fighting people. What's wrong? Said Naruto. Well, I don't really know, she said. A lot of time I wonder about being a ninja, and what would it actually be like. And I believe that my dreams are not living up to the image of being a ninja. What do you mean? Said Naruto. Well, I heard some people talking about the violence and horrors of being a ninja, and the way things are set in my dreams. About me defeating the bad guy and becoming a hero. I doubt it's gonna be that easy. I mean, I want to be Hokage, she said. But it's almost like, as Naruto patted her on the shoulders, don't overthink yourself. As long as you work hard, you can achieve anything, he said. Hearing that made her smile. You know, you always have this thing about you that I just can't really have with myself. This overwhelming need to make me believe in you. Where do you get it from? It's almost like you're just a symbol of hope. Huh. Am I? Said Naruto. Come on, you're giving me too much credit. You are, she said. I mean, most of the kids our age look up to you. You're like the leader in all of our assignments, when we go and play and all that. And the adults always leave you with the responsibility because they know, out of all of us, you're the one to always do the right thing. As Naruto shook and rubbed back of his head. Well, thanks, he said. See, you're even thanking me even though you know that I'm right. As he simply chuckled. Come on, he said, let's get home. She paused. My legs are feeling rather tired, she said. He gave her a suspicious look. As she gave him a smile. Fine, hop on, he said. As she jumped onto his back. She hold on. Hold on tight, said Naruto. Go, she said. With that he moved. Mito felt her hair shot back as she had to hold on to him tight. Her brother was insanely fast as he moved through the village. The next few seconds, as he came to a stop, were here. She still didn't understand how he was that fast already. But it was just incredible. So with that, they made their way inside. Mom, the both of them called out. We're home. We're in here, said two voices. As they made their way towards the kitchen at Tsunade Senju. And Kushina Uzumaki sat there. Where's big sister Suzune? She's not here at the moment, Naruto-kun. How are you? Did you have fun today? Yeah, we played hide and seek. But he keeps on finding all of us, and he still won't tell me how he did that, said Mito. One of his so-called trade secrets. As Naruto chuckled, well, if it's a secret. You know, a shinobi always keep their secret to themselves. After all, you were the one that told me that about the guidebook. Yeah, you're right. But I'm his sister, he could at least tell me. Come on, Naruto-chan, I'm sure that you could tell her. How do you keep on finding them? Nope. Trade secrets, said Naruto. Huh. Stubborn just like your mother, said Tsunade with a smile. As Mito pouted, I will find out what it is. What would you guys like to eat? The time is still early, so have any suggestions? Asked Tsunade. As the both kids thought about it, Kushina smiled. It has been 6 years. The kids have grown wonderfully. They have not told them about certain events, like Naruto not being from this planet, or that Mito had the 9 tails inside of her. She knew that her father was Minato, but the secret of the 9 tails was kept secretive, and no one would speak of it, no one her own age, as the kids were not supposed to know either. They did not feel like she was ready for something like that, nor that Naruto was ready to hear about the events of him coming to Earth, although he was much more mature than the others, not to mention he was a sweet kid, always choosing to do the right thing. Later that night, after everyone went to sleep, Naruto found himself on top of the roof. He could never sleep when it was a full moon. He didn't know why, and that was rather annoying. He hadn't told his mother or Aunt Kushina about it, but he could just not sleep. As he sat on top of the roof, he knew he was not as normal as the other kids. For one thing, he was immensely fast. The other thing, he could hear far. That is the reason why he always found Mito and the others. He could simply hear them while they were breathing. And his eyesight was immensely good. Like he could see in far distances. Not as the Hyugas, but he could see pretty far. Speaking of the Hyugas, Hayashi wouldn't let Hinata come to play with them. Nor did Fukaku let Sasuke come to play with them. They always kept their kids inside. Naruto glanced up towards the moon. He didn't know why, but whenever he looked at the moon in the night, he felt this surge in power coursing inside of him. He felt so much more stronger. And also for the morning as well. The sun. He always felt happy and warm around it, and also felt a lot more powerful. As he lay back on the roof, wondering what exactly did this mean. The academy was starting up soon, and he couldn't wait to join it. Time skip. As Naruto sat with the others. They waved goodbye to their parents, as they made their way inside for the first day of the academy. As Naruto was greeted by almost all of the kids. He knew a lot of them, except for the few that he did not know, and the upper class one as well. So with that, they were all brought towards a class. Hello everyone. As they were all silenced by the man that stepped in, there was a scar over his nose. My name is Aruka Mino. And I will be your sensei throughout the years. I will be the one that is gonna teach and guide you on your path to become shinobis. So until you leave the academy, I will be your sensei. Understood? Yes, sensei, they all said. As Naruto glanced towards the other kids, Kiba had got his little puppy some time ago. A white dog that he called Akamaru. It was sweet. As they sat down in the class, while that was going on, Jiraiya sat with Hiruzen. Strange things have been happening around the Elemental Nation. For one thing, the green shards. They have all been cleaned up some time ago. Back when Naruto was just a baby. Because rumors were going around that they grant people abilities. Hiruzen was sure that someone in this village had collected most of them because they could not be found, not even in the crash site where Naruto had landed. I don't know if it's some kind of Kiki Genkai or whatnot, but physical attacks would not hurt him. I had to hit him with a Rasengan. As Hiruzen scratched his cheek here and that, several individuals have been showing strange signs, not just within Konoha but outside of the Elemental Nation. Could it really be that these things are giving people abilities? Well, given that they're not exactly from this planet, would that be so far-fetched? Was he particularly strong? No, he was not that powerful. But it was hard to find out that physical attacks would not hurt him, seeing that he faked like they did. But when I tried getting close, he sucker punched me and tried to choke me out by wrapping his arm around my neck. He could extend his limbs to impossible degrees. And this guy was just the head of the bandits, said Jiraiya, as he was dealing with some bandits who were trying to bring their drugs within Fire Nation, a new drug that is known as Sin. And, well, it hasn't spread yet, but a few bandits were trying to bring it in here. The leader of said camp had faced off against Jiraiya. The man could twist his body to ridiculous degrees. After interrogating him, he spilled the news that it was a strange glowing rock. Once he touched it, his body just changed. But it was not only out of the Elemental Nation. There was a young girl. Her voice was magnified by the strange rock. It seems like she was affected when she was a baby. Her mother had said she had found one in the back of the yard. A small piece, and just by touching the girl, her voice is magnified whenever she screamed. It's like some kind of Kiki Genkai. Yeah, it's like these shards are giving people abilities. Has there been any more sightings within Konoha? A few have come in contact with it, but some of them has not been directly altered in any way. I'm not sure what is the reason or why it altered them in the first place, but we have to find out more about this. Did you send the girl to the academy? Not yet, Hiruzen said. I can't have her going and hurting anyone. She doesn't have control over it yet, so we'll have to run a few tests to see if everything's okay. Jiraiya chuckled a bit. What's so funny? Well, you know who her mother is. Yeah, Mebuki Haruno. Well, everyone knows that Mebuki is known for shouting. What if it's because she loved to shout that is why her daughter gained that ability? As Hiruzen paused, I was just joking, Sensei. But Jiraiya, what if you're right? What if it's something based on the person's life that changed them and gave them new abilities? Well, that will kind of explain things, but still, it's still far-fetched. We'll just have to find out some more. Hey, what about Naruto? Has he... Not yet. So far, Tsunade said that he has the normal strength and speed of a normal shinobi that she trained him with. Well, she hasn't really pushed him anything hardcore. He's just 6 years old after all. Yeah, I guess you're right about that. What about Mito? How is she coming along? Well, she might have gotten her mother here. And her mother looks, and not to mention, she has gotten the aptitude for Fuin Jutsu. Remember, Kushina was the one that showed Minato the art of sealing, and he adapted faster than her. It seems that Mito has a perfect blend of both too. She's progressing really fast. I'm not even sure if she will stay in the academy for the extended amount of time that is needed with the way she's growing. Well, given who her parents are, I doubt it, said Jiraiya, as he had a smile. I just hope the boy could have been here to see this child grew up. Me too, said Harrison with a sad look on his face. Time skip. All of the children were gathered. This was the third week in the academy, and they were told that their physical aptitude were going to be tested to see how they stack up and to see which field they lean towards, so that if any one of them needs specialized training in certain areas, well, they could help them as best they could. They also got a new classmate. Her name was Sakura Haruno. She was soft-spoken, as she didn't speak loudly. You had to be close to her to hear what she had to say. She had pink hair. She seemed to be a nice girl though, as all of them were outside. Sasuke smirked, unlike most of the civilians here. He had proper training from his clan already, but he was not the only one. Suck it, said Kiba as he dropped one of the civilians' boy on the ground. Kiba, you don't have to be so harsh. Well, I just have to show who's the top dog around here, Kiba said. I mean, there can only be one alpha, which is not you, said Ino. What do you mean? Of course I'm the alpha, he said. Just look at these muscles as he flexed his arms. The girl started to laugh. Naruto-kun is way better than you, said Ino. You're not even better than Sasuke-kun. As Kiba pouted, seemed to deflate at her words. Come on. Am I that bad? He said. Well, I guess you're not that bad, she said, but still, you're not the alpha. As he pouted. Alright then, I'm gonna defeat them both and show you guys. Aruka-sensei, no, said Aruka. Someone else, as he went over the listing. With Naruto Senju and Sasuke Uchiha, please make your way towards Center Field. As Naruto walked up, several girls called out his name. Several girls cheering for Sasuke as well. Hey, who do you think is gonna win? Do you really have a doubt, said Mito. Of course it's Naruto. But Sasuke is trained by the Uchiha clan. I mean, they're really strong. Yeah? So what? Naruto is trained by a Senju, Tsunade Senju, who happened to be my aunt. So there's no doubt that they're gonna win. You know if Tsunade is your aunt and Naruto is their son, that makes you his cousin, right? Said Shikamaru. Yeah, I know that, she said. Well, sometimes it didn't seem like you know that. You really see as he's your brother. Well, we've called each other that since we were younger, so I'm not gonna change it now. He's my brother, whether that's right or not, she said. Come on, Shikamaru, just let it go. You know that she's not gonna change her mind, right? Shikamaru sighed. He never wanted an argument in the first place. You ready to lose, Sasuke asked. As Naruto merely smiled at him. Come on, Sasuke. Do you really think that you're gonna win, said Naruto, as he smiled, showing off a bit. As Sasuke simply chuckled. Find the whole thing amusing. It seems like you don't understand what a Uchiha elite can do, he said, as he slipped into his stance. Alright, the both of you. When I say begin, you will start. Begin! Sasuke rushed forward. I'm gonna end this quickly. As Naruto stood there. He was confused. Something seemed off. Why was Sasuke moving so slow? Why was everyone talking so slow? Is everyone okay? He asked. The world then returned back to normal. As he saw Sasuke in front of him, he dodged a fist. As Sasuke brought his leg up, Naruto brought his hand up. Sasuke's feet knocked against his hand. Instead of Naruto's hand being pushed back, Sasuke's feet was instead pushed down. Sasuke fronted that as he backpedaled. He then rushed forward and lashed out, using the Uchiha fighting style. But Naruto evaded all of his strikes. They were just so slow. Naruto then reached up. His mother told him that he was a lot stronger than other kids, especially from her training. So he should never really go that hard on them. He might end up hurting them. And Sasuke was his friend. So Naruto dodged Sasuke and reaching close. He then slightly tapped him in the stomach. Naruto was surprised and Sasuke was blown back, crashing on the ground. He was confused, but he barely hit him. The kids in the academy gasped. Aruka was surprised. He barely touched him. Sasuke picked himself up. What the hell was that? I don't know, said Naruto. Well, see if you can block me this time. As Sasuke moved forward. This time he lashed out his attacks rather viciously. Itachi was already going strong his age, so he has to prove that he was also an elite. But despite the punch that he threw, despite the kicks that he threw, he still stood no chance at all. as Naruto then dodged past him and chopped him in the back of the neck. Sasuke passed out as Naruto called him. His mother had taught him about the human body, so he knew the points where to hit a person, knock them out. Haruka came over and checked on Sasuke. Don't worry, he's just unconscious, said Naruto. Yeah, he's just unconscious, Haruka checked him. Well, that was exceptionally well, Naruto. It seems like you're more advanced for your age. As Naruto scratched the back of his head. Thanks, he said. No need to be so modest. You did really well, Haruka said, as he saw that Naruto was blushing in embarrassment. Alright, Haruka said. Next up, Mito Uzumaki versus Hinata Hyuga. Mito turned towards Hinata. Let's do this, she said. Meanwhile that was going on, the elemental nations was really being affected by whatever those things were. Those crystal shards. It was not just Konoha. It was several other villages. At the moment, a man was laughing rather psychotically. The man seemed to have muscles upon his muscles. Several individuals bow in front of him. Lord Warbeast. Lord Warbeast, they said, chanting those words over and over as they bowed to him. The man chuckled. He didn't know what the hell that thing was that gave him this strength, but it was amazing. With this, what couldn't he do? As he chuckled to himself, first, he will get an army. After all, a king must always lead. As he chuckled happily. But he was not the only one. More individuals were popping up, all of them obtaining strange abilities. The elemental nation was changing. Newfound powers and abilities, but some would not use this for the greater good. In fact, they were going to use it to cause havoc, destruction, and chaos. But guys, if you ain't subscribed right here, if you want to make sports and do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification so you posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.